Hello everyone. Good morning. Are you able to hear me?
It's doing okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's start our today's session. Okay. Let's start our today's session. So let me share my screen. Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah. So yesterday we have seen about inner join and the left join, right? Today we will see right join and full join. Okay, and then we will jump into the analytics functions. Okay, so here if you see, yesterday we have observed two tables, right? So here the table test stage and test stage, table test and table test stage. Okay, so these are the two tables that we have used yesterday for our practice. Now today, let us understand. We have some sample tables. Let's try to the create the joins on top of these sample tables. Okay, so here if you see, I have the customers table, and then I have the orders. So here, okay, then products. Okay, fine. So let us observe these tables, guys. So here, if you see, I have customers table wherein I have customer ID and I have remaining customer details, right? First name, last name, email, phone, address, city, state, zip code, registration date. So these are all my customer details. Okay, and I have customer ID, which is the primary key in this table. Okay, so that's about the customers table. Now coming to the order details. So in the order details, if you see, order detail ID is the primary key, and order id, product id have foreign keys. Okay, order id is referring to the orders table order id, and product id is referring to your products table product id. Okay, so in a same table you can have multiple foreign keys. There is no restriction for it, and in the same table you can have multiple primary keys as well. Okay, that is what composite primary key we discussed, right? So we have these tables now. So order details and orders, and then I have products, and then I have customers. Now let's start applying our joins on top of all these tables, and let's see how actually these joins will behave, right? So let me connect to my database. Select star from customers. Okay, so I have 1 2 3 4 5 as a customer ID. Okay, so this is my orders table. order details table, sorry. So let's go to this and start from orders. So here if you see, in the orders table, I have customer ID as a foreign key, which is referring to my, customer table. Okay. So now let's see how what's the things that we can do with these two tables, right? So I have the customer table wherein I have customer ID and the customer details, and orders table linked with the customers table, okay, using the foreign key relation on top of the customer ID. Okay. So now if I join these two tables on customer ID, so what I will get? So I'll get each customer ordered date and the total amount. Okay. Now let us start joining these two tables. Okay. So I'm giving aliases. Okay. So this is my inner join query. So I'm just executing it. See here, I got customer ID and their order date along with the registration date, and I got the total amount as well. Okay. But if you see, I have 5 customers. One of the customer got missed, right? Because in the orders table, there is no entry for that customer, right? So let us try to find out who are all the customers doesn't order at all, right? So that is one use case for us. So find out the customers who did not ordered anything. So can someone guess the query? Find out the customers who did not ordered anything. Any guesses?
Um,
Yeah, Sai.
uh, we make use of this left join and make use of that where condition where
Okay.
the order ID is null.
Okay, select star from customers. C. Left join orders O on C dot, sorry, C dot customer ID equals to O dot customer ID. Okay, so this is my left join query. Okay, so now if we execute, so what I will get? I got everything from my left side table. Okay, but in the right side table, I got only the matched records. So the matched column is the customer ID. So I got all the records which got matched, right? So if you see, my customer ID one got repeated twice. So the reason is you have two ones in your orders table. Okay. So how many times it matches? So those many records will come. Yesterday we have discussed, right? So here if you see the right side table, so the left side table is customers and the right side table is orders. Okay. Now from the left side, you got all the matched records. when I say matched records, how many times it will match? So those many records it will give. Okay. So if the record matched twice, it will give two records. Okay. So now here I got everything from my left side table. I'm clear. From the right side table, if you see, for the customer ID 5, I don't have anything in the orders table. So I got this record as null from the right side table. Okay. So now just to recap on the requirement. So what is the requirement? Get me the customers who did not ordered anything. So customer ID 5 did not ordered anything, right? Because that is not present in the orders table. So we are doing a simple lookup of ID from one table to another table, and we are checking whether that ID is present in the other table or not. This is the common use case in real time projects you will face. Okay. You'll be asked to do a lookup. Hey Venkat, could you please do a simple lookup between these two columns, or between these two tables on top of this column, and get me the records which are not matching or which are matching, something like that, right? So you may need to use this kind of cases in real time projects, right? Very often. So the best way to do this is using the left join. Okay. So here if you see, I have the customer IDs, but I have the customer ID is null. But when you can ask me a question, Venkat, how can I separate only 5? Right? So that's where you can apply always the where clause, right? So where o dot customer ID is null, right? So when you say is null, that means you are applying this filter on O dot customer ID. O means orders table. So whenever you are using left outer join on top of a condition on customer ID, but you are saying orders dot customer ID is null, that means your customer ID is present in the left side table, but it is not present in the right side table. So that is the meaning for your okay, for your query, right? So when you do this, you will only get 5, which is actually not ordered anything, right? So this is the importance of your left join. Be very, very clear. Okay. So then what is the purpose of the right join, right? So the same behavior, but but it will give the right implementation. So what do I mean by that? So whatever in the left side left the join we have seen, it will give the complete left table, and then it will give records from the right side table which are matched, right? So similarly, the right join will give all the right table records, and it will give records from the left table whichever matched. Okay. So here if you see, you got all the records from the orders table. Okay. But whatever the records that got matched from the customers table, you got only those records. Okay. So if you have any other customer or else any other order ID here which is not matching with the customers table, then it will become null from this customers table. Okay. So that is the right join. Now I will simply explain in terms of notepad. So here if you see, I have customer ID 1, okay, and the name Venkat, okay, customer ID 2 and the name Mahesh, okay, and I have orders table, order ID 1, customer ID 1, okay, and then the order amount is 100 rupees. Okay, this is the customers table, and this is the orders table. Okay, here if you see, I have order ID, customer ID, and the amount. Similarly, I have order ID and then customer ID and then amount. And then similarly, I have order ID, customer ID, amount. Okay. So now when I use right join, I'll get one twice, right? And then two, it will match. Okay. So then I'll get all the records. Okay. For example, in the orders table, you have fourth record. Let us say 3, 400. In this case, when you do right join, what will happen? Simply the query looks like select star from customers C, right join orders O on C dot customer ID equals to O dot customer ID. Okay. So when you do this, what will happen? You'll get your one, two, three, four, or sorry, one, one, two, three from right side table, because your right side table is orders. So you will get everything from your right side table. But the three customer ID is not present in the orders, sorry, in the customers. Okay, though it is not possible because the customer ID is the foreign key. First, it has to enter into this customers table. But for example's sake, we are taking it. So when you are doing a right join and your orders table is having 3, but your customer table doesn't have 3. So in that case, what will happen? So your data will come like this, right? So 1 Venkat, comma 100. Again, 1 Venkat, comma 1 200. Right? 2 Mahesh, comma 2 300. Right? So similarly, you will get null, comma null, comma 3 400. Okay, so this is the output that you will see with right join. Okay, it will give everything from the right side table, but from the left side, whatever it got matched, how many times it got matched, it will give the matched records plus unmatched records as null from the left side table. Guys, are we clear? Any questions or queries with respect to inner left and right joins? Are
Yeah,
you able to
clear.
understand? Yeah, Sai.
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, hi Venkat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one question. We are using only one condition, right, to join. We can use multiple conditions, right, on
Yes.
to join.
Yes. You can always use multiple conditions using and or operators.
Okay, based on the requirement, we can use
Yeah.
multiple conditions, right?
Yes. Correct. Correct. So, for example, you may face a few scenarios wherein you may need to join two columns, or you may need to join based on two columns, right? So, to check the uniqueness between the two columns, let us take an example. You have a composite primary key. Okay. So, where your primary key is declared on top of two columns, right? So you have customer ID and then you have order ID. The combination they have declared the primary key, and in the other table you have the customer ID and order ID, and you have transaction ID. Okay, so now in that case you need to join these two tables. If you join on single column, if it is a composite primary key case, you will get a lot of duplicate data. So that is the reason when we have composite primary key kind of scenarios, then we have to go for multi condition in the join. Okay, so that is where we'll use and or condition. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Any
I
other
think
questions? Yeah.
we can join on same table.
Mm-hmm.
Can we join on same table?
Okay,
One table.
so yes, it is possible. The next join that we're going to cover is that only self
Okay.
join.
Okay.
Okay, that we'll call it as self join. So we will see that. Before going to that, I'm just checking whether you guys are able to understand these three types of joins: inner, left, right.
Yeah, we got clear.
Okay, so let's jump into the self join concept. Okay, so self join, the name itself it is saying, right? So if we want to join a table by itself, right? If we want to join a table by itself, then we will call that join as self join. Okay, so you can ask me a question, Venkat, when we will get this kind of situations. Let's see one example so that you will come to know, right? So here, if you see, I have select, sorry, I'll create one table. Okay, create table emp underscore info id employee id. Okay, and then I have employee id as integer, and then I have my manager id. Okay, which is actually again the integer, and then id which is integer, and then name which is varchar of 100, and then salary integer. Okay, so this is my employee info table. So now let us add some data to it. Insert into emp values. So I have employee id 1. Okay, and then for the employee id 1, the manager is employee 3. Okay, and then this employee id 1 belongs to 10th department, and then the name of this employee is Blake. Okay, and then this is my first employee, right? And then another employee. Okay, so here if you see, I have employee id 2, and then for employee id 2 the manager is 3 only, and then employee id 2 belongs to 20th department, and the name is James, and the salary is 6,000. Okay, and then I have employee id 3. Okay, employee id 3. For employee id 3, 3 cannot be manager because he himself cannot be manager. So 4 is the manager. Okay, so here if you see, I have Scott is the employee name, and this employee id 3 belongs to 30th department, and the salary is 10,000. Okay, so now another record, right? And 5 is the manager. King 15,000. Okay, so these are my records. Now the example is pretty simple. We need to identify the employees who are not managers. So the query. So we need to identify emp underscore info. We need to identify the employees who are not managers, right? So now we have created the table, and we have, okay, so we got the employee ID one, two times, is it? Okay, that's okay, no problem. So here, if you see, I have the employee ID and I have the manager ID. So in the manager ID column, if you see, for 1 and 2, we have 3 as a manager, and for 3 and 4, we have 4 and 5 as the manager. But the employees 1 and 2 are not managers for any of the resource, is it? For 3 and 4, we agree from the ID. So we can use distinct always. Okay, this distinct keyword will eliminate the duplicates, duplicate records, okay, values. So to eliminate the duplicate column values, we use distinct keyword. Okay. So now observe the data. I have employee ID 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And for one employee ID, employee 3 is acting as a manager. For 2 employee ID, employee 3 is acting as a manager. And for 3 employee 4 is acting as a manager. For 4 employee 5 is acting as a manager. Okay. Now the requirement comes like this: get me the employees who are not managers. Okay, get me the employees who are not managers. So how you will do this? Any any idea
on
or
on
any
con
guess?
on condition will
Sorry,
match it with on the where I mean on the
Sai,
condition
you're
where
coming
will
again.
you on the condition of the join will make use of this
Mm-hmm.
manager ID and the employee ID. We'll compare
Okay.
both uh,
Which join you'll use?
self join
Self join, but what kind of join it is?
or
Self
the
join is a type.
yeah
So
j-
okay,
just
let
join
me. Oh, just join will it will default, by default it will go for inner join, is it?
yeah
So okay, fine. So let me select distinct star from emp underscore info e2 on. Okay, then on. So yeah, tell me, Sai, on
by,
what
em-
basis
by
you?
employee info dot id. I think we don't haven't initialized in yeah e1 dot id
Okay, d1 dot id equals
equal
to
to e1 dot e2 dot manager id.
to dot manager id, right?
Yeah.
So when we do this, what will happen?
We are getting the uh,
Yeah. So by default, the join keyword will utilize the inner join. You're getting me, Sai?
yeah yeah
So now you have one side, the employee info table, and let me see what we'll get with left join. See here, you got whatever you need right now.
yeah
So what we need to do now, where
there
e2 dot e2 dot id
is null.
is null. You got my point, Sai?
yeah got it.
Yeah. Any questions, guys? See here how you are actually joining a table by itself. You're not joining any kind of other tables. You're joining a table by itself. It always depends on your technical requirement how you will get. Okay. So right now we have taken a simple example wherein we are joining the same table. Okay. It is all about your aliasing. For SQL engine, it is two tables. Remember, for you it may differ. See here. Here you have given E1 as an alias and then left join. You are querying the same table and you have given E2 as alias. So for the engine at the back end, it will be two tables. Okay, you need to understand that. Any queries in self join, Bablu? Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So that's about joins concept, guys. So let us jump into the analytics functions. So there is another join type called cross join. So we hardly use that join. We don't use most of the times. You please explore that join. Okay. So it will give Cartesian product of records between the tables. Okay. So that is the reason we hardly use that join. So you can explore that cross join. Okay. So the next first analytic function that we are going to see is right. So row number. Okay. So row number is a very commonly used function in real time projects. Okay. It is to identify or it is to provide a unique ranking or unique value to all the records inside a table. Okay, so we'll see the examples. So we'll see three analytic functions. Okay, and I want you to practice three more. Okay, so total six analytic functions we'll see. Okay, so today we will try to complete row number. Okay, rank, dense rank. So these are the analytic functions that we will use in real-time projects. So let me take you towards this. Okay, so I will create one more table here, or else I'll use. Let me check whether I can use the select star from customers. So this is my customers table. Okay. Okay, it's okay, no problem. Let me create the new table. Okay, so let's ask ChatGPT to create my table. Okay, so please create a sample employee table with insert statement. See this, guys. I mean, how a developer life is becoming very simple, right? I mean, you can ask anything, but ChatGPT doesn't know the requirement, guys. You need to understand that. Okay, so people may feel that okay, so it is doing our job. No, it doesn't know the requirement, right? So in the business functionality, in the domain specific requirements, it doesn't know. So we know the domain specific requirements and we need to convert them to technical things. So it's actually the support I can say, but it won't affect is what I feel. So let me try to use the same code. So I have employee ID, first name, last name, birth date and hire date and department and salary. Okay. And I have this data. Okay. So department IT, HR, finance. Add few more records. Need more records with respect to department. Okay, so here if you see from 6, see the intelligence of these tools, guys, understand, see how it is actually understanding your query, right? So this is something that you need to understand. Okay, so let me try to create the table. Okay, so I'm creating the table. Okay, then I will go and copy this, and then I will try to insert. Okay, similarly I'll go here, I'll copy this, and then I'll paste it here. Right, done. So now if you see, select star from employee. Right, this is my data. Okay, this is my data. So now let's jump into the row number function. Okay, so what is row number? So row number is basically to give a sequence of number. Okay, it will start with 1 and it ends with the record count, how many records are there. Okay, let's experience this. If you see the example, you will get it. So here, along with these functions, row number, sum, or any kind of a function, average, rank, or dense rank, we will use over clause. Okay, so let me explain that. Select star. Oh, sorry. So here, if you see, I'm going with select star comma row underscore number. Okay, this is the syntax, guys. Over. So here, if you can say order by higher date. Okay, order by higher date descending from employee. So let us understand how actually this row number is behaving first, right? So you can add the alias as RN. See, the syntax is there is a inbuilt function in your database itself called row number, and you will always use these analytic functions with over clause. Okay, over meaning it will allow you to add a window function meaning you can specify order by, partition by, all these things we'll see them. Okay, so within a window, okay, you can use a over class along with an analytic function, right? So now this row number is a function, inbuilt function, we are using it with over clause. Okay, and inside the over we can specify the window what we need. Okay, so for this function to activate, this window function is mandate, be very clear. Okay. Now I need to apply row number. For every record, I need to apply a number. That's the row number functionality. Okay. But what is the supporting window function based on what I need to assign a row number? So that is what you need to specify in the over clause. Okay. Hey, first go ahead and order hire date in the descending order. Order hire date in the descending order. Then assign the row number. Okay, then assign the row number. So you're getting, guys. So row number functionality is to assign a number to a record. Very simply, it will assign a number to a record. Now you are specifying based on what condition it has to assign a number. First you order by hire date in the descending, then assign the row number. That is what you are instructing to your engine. So the over clause for these things is mandatory. Okay, you need to specify a window. Hey, first go and order by hire date, then assign the row number. First go and order by hire date, then assign the rank, then dense rank, then lead or lag, whatever the function may be. You need to specify a window. Okay, based on that window, your actual function will work. Here, if you see, my window is specifying order by hire date descending. Now, what it will do, it ordered the hire date in the descending fashion. Then it assigned the row number. If you see, it starts with 1. Okay, it starts with 1 and it started assigning the row number. So till 30 records. Okay. Now, what are the different ways? So you can also specify the partition by clause, partition by department. Okay, so partition by department. So when you do this, what will happen? Let us observe. Now you have given a window to your row number saying, hey, partition by department and order by hire date descending, then assign the row number. So then it will consider both windows, right? So what will happen? It will order the hire date, it will partition based on the department, meaning, so first finance department, inside the finance department, it will order the date in the descending fashion. Then it will start assigning the row number. Okay. So similarly, HR department, similarly, IT department. So first it will partition the department. Inside that partition, it will try to order the hire date. That's what you are instructing, right? So that's what you are saying. So according to your window, it will work. So it partitioned the finance department and it ordered your hire date, and then it assigned the row number. If you see, for every partition, it started with 1. Guys, are you with me? Are you able to understand the row number?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is very very important, guys. So people may ask you, hey, could you please remove the duplicates based on the hire date, or could you please extract? Sorry, could you please extract the unique records from each department? Okay, based on the hire date, or could you please extract the employees who are the latest hires from the each department, right? So these are the real time cases. Now let us see an example here. If you see in the finance department, who joined first, or in the HR department, who joined first, or in the IT department, who joined first. So can someone guess, or can someone give me a query that returns the department wise the first joined employees list? Whoever joined the first in the department, I need those employees list. So this is guess a query for that? Anybody? Anybody from the room?
Um, so the just same query, instead of
Yeah.
using descending, you can make ascending and then make use of where class, saying that
Okay.
where row number is equal to 1.
Yes. Great. Great, Sai. Thank you so much for that. So let's see how it will work. Where Rn equals to 1. So why it is saying this invalid column name Rn? So you need to learn something here, guys, which is actually new for you. Okay, so here when you are deriving columns in a query, or when you are applying a logic using any kind of aggregations or any kind of calculations you are doing, and you are deriving a column, or using a case when also you are deriving a column. And remember, you cannot use the same column in the same query where clause. Be very, very clear. Your where clause doesn't detect the derived column. Okay. Your where clause doesn't detect your derived column, because your Rn is not part of your table column, right? Your table columns list. So that is why you need to use a subquery to apply this where clause. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let's see. So select star from, oh sorry, so select star from, right? So here if you see, I'm using a I'm
alias
using a table alias t, and then where
t dot
t dot rn equal to 1.
equal to 1.
See this, guys. So you need to understand how actually we are doing. So if it is a derived column, you cannot use that column in the same query where clause. That is a restriction. For to avoid that, you need to pass that query within the from clause. Okay, within the from clause. You can pass subqueries in the from clause or in the where clause also. Okay, so in the where clause also you can pass the subqueries. Okay, so here if you see, what is the subquery and what is the main query, right? So your subquery will return something, and that returned data will be utilized by your main query. That's the simple relation, guys. You don't need to think a lot about it. The very simple relation. There will be a inner query. Okay, inner query in our case is the row number query. That query will be executed first. Okay, and the output that got returned will be passed to the outer query. Outer query is just select star from. Okay, now from in the from clause, because you are using it, it will treat it as a table. Okay, so that is why I'm giving a table alias. And within the where clause, because I already extracted the inner query output to the outer query, in the outer query I will get rn column, because that will act as a table now. So now in my table I have the rn column, so I can apply the filter on top of the rn column. So that is the logic here. Okay, so when you are working with subqueries, please try to understand your inner query will be executed first, and then the returned output will be passed to your outer query. Okay, and in case of derived columns, or in case of any kind of new columns that you are adding by applying some logic or by applying some functions, then in that case you need to use a subquery within the from clause. You cannot directly pass the derived column in the same query filter. These are few conditions you need to remember, guys. Okay, are we clear? Are we clear, guys? Any questions or queries?
Yeah, clear.
Yes, clear.
Clear.
Yeah, clear. Venkat, one question here.
Yeah.
If you want to like from this example, if you want to get the data on a department wise, we can add that filter in that subquery also, right? Where from in the where class
I
where
lost. I lost you. Could you please come again?
actually if you want to get the data based on the department wise, the
Okay.
question was the department wise. I think the first hire date employee
Yes.
we want
Yes.
to get.
Yes. Yes.
Here
Yes.
we are getting
Yes.
all the department data. Like if you want to get
Yes.
that, we can add that filter in the subquery, right?
Which
And
filter?
the department, like if you want to get a department, like suppose finance department, the first like first
Okay,
hire.
you want only
Yeah.
the respective department.
Yes.
Yeah, that you can straight away add in the inner query itself because your
Mhm.
department column is part of your
Yes.
table. So
Mhm.
you don't need to pass it to the sub query. So you just need to. I'm talking about only the derived columns case. So here, if you see where department 1 second. So where department equals to IT. So if you want to extract for a specific department, you still can apply the filter. Yeah.
Okay, and
Inside.
then I want like who is the employee that has joined the first one, like in the company. That filter also I want to add.
You cannot add in the same query is what I'm trying to
Oh,
say.
okay,
So
okay.
because your RN is derived, right? So
Okay, okay,
within
okay.
the same query. So if you want to add RN to your where clause in the same query, it is
Mm-hmm.
not possible. So
Okay,
because your RN is a derived column and your where clause doesn't detect it because it's not part of the table, you derived it. Okay.
mm,
So now what is happening when you do RN, it will say it won't be able to detect RN. Okay.
okay,
So
okay.
to avoid this, what you can do is, okay, you can filter IT in IT department,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can pass it as a subquery to outer query.
Okay,
Okay, select star from inside from, you will pass it as a subquery. So you got now IT department ordered and IT department hire date based row number you got. Now here you will say where rn equals to where rn equals to 1. Okay, you will give one table alias here
mm-hmm.
where t dot rn. That's it. So this is how you need to use derived columns. Otherwise, it is not possible for you to use the same, even it may be sum of or it may be a count of anything. You cannot use the same derived column in the same where query class.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah, so that is the rule here. So anybody have any other questions?
Yes, Venki. We can
Yeah.
use the department outside as well, right? Like T
Yes,
dot
yes,
R
yes.
equal to one
Because
department.
your inner query is returning the entire table, right? So you
Yeah.
here, if you see, I will remove the department from here. Okay, I will remove the department from here. If you see, your inner query is returning all the departments. Okay, now you can always apply this t dot department equals to IT and, right, simple where clause will work because the columns you see, all the columns you are returning from the inner query. So this inner query, whatever the output it returns, on top of all the columns, you can apply where clause. There is no restriction.
Yeah, okay.
Any other queries or questions?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
one more question,
Yeah.
Venki.
Yeah. Yeah. Prakrit.
We have seen that self join, right?
Yes.
So here we use the left join. So
Yes.
based on the requirement, we can change that to right or inner as well, right?
Yes,
Or
yes, yes, yes. That you can
we
see.
can
See,
change.
I just want in the self join case. So we have taken employees and managers, right? So
Yeah,
my requirement is get me the employees who are not managers. Okay, that is my requirement. So I used left join. If I say get me the employees who are managers, right? So in that case, I can go for inner join, right?
yeah, yeah,
So it
yeah,
depends on the requirement. Yeah.
yeah. That's,
Okay. So okay, so that's all. We have for today, guys, because I think we are already running out of time. So tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we'll take 1 hour session. Okay, so I'll check the availability in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so I request you to respond and support me in this weekend. We'll take 1 hour a session to complete this SQL. Okay, so that from Monday we can start cloud computing. Okay, so that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining once again. Monday. Yeah,
Thanks, Shankar.
Thank you, Venkat.
thank you.
okay.